Our broadcast name is Bozo, based in our condo. Get ready, cause our show is starting really pronto. Talking tons of buzz stuff we all like. Give us a listen, let me tell ya, we don't bite. We know your mind will be jumping super high as you hear us making light of our lives. Time spots, frequencies, and energies. Time spots, frequencies, and energies. Get us thinking about space, poo-poo, and pee-pee. Come on, 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 come on. Look at the sky and listen.
So, that special intro is recorded by one of our friends named Kyle C. He's an amazing artist. You should check him out. And thank you to Taylor D for mastering that. And we've got some exciting news. And if you're listening to this, you probably already know PodcastBozo is back. We're on episode 1 of season 2 of PodcastBozo. Today is 9/13/2020. The same day that Zangai of the Near East is murdered, the Sultan Nur ad-Din, his son, pursues the conquest of Edessa. I don't know what any of that means, but that was
That's something.
Look it up. Shout out to Annika D for being our loyal listener this week. I am your host, JJ, and I'm here with Sean, the certified beer server, and Eli.
What up, dude?
Our resident artist. Today we'll be talking about the makings of a soul. And E, what do you call your topic today?
We're going to investigate my childhood trauma.
I love it. I
Exciting
can't
stuff.
wait.
I remembered it, but it's not funny. All right.
What makes you, Eli?
Wooden ships.
By the way, you may be watching this on YouTube and you may already know, but we now have a YouTube channel. And we have other activities off the sound waves as well. You can find us on Bozo Podcast, at Bozo Podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're active there. It's worth a follow. When you get to those...
That's at BOZOPODCAST. Again, Bozo Podcast. That's BOZOPODCAST. Why don't you do yourself a favor and do me a favor and smash that follow button.
There we go.
It'd also be great if you guys went on to Apple Podcasts and left us a 5-star review. It mean a lot to us over here in the studios. That's 5 stars. Anything less than 5 stars, we don't want it.
Well,
so
if
get
you're
that
gonna
outta
leave
here.
anything less than 5 stars, make it funny at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Write a
make it
review.
funny and make it 5 stars.
Now you can give us a 1 star.
Yeah.
Just make it funny.
Make it funny. Cheek, I think that our users have plenty of direction on how to get to our pages, but how would they tag along? How would they stick with us?
If you notice up at the top, there's usually a button if you aren't subscribed to that page or podcast. All you're going to do is take your cursor and move it over that button that says follow. And then you're going to go ahead and smash it. You're going to mash it. You're going to smash it. And you're going to crash right into PodcastBozo. Come listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
As you can tell, PodcastBozo has new digs too. I don't know if you're just listening, you may not be able to tell by the acoustics, but maybe you can. We have new arms that are holding the mics. We have a new table that holds the mic arms, and we have a new laptop that records the recordings. And then in the background, we have things like the Iceland flag. And then Pete, give us a point at PE there.
This is Pete. He's sleeping, dreaming of pizza.
Yeah.
We got a pirate's pistol right there.
Yeah, that's a pirate gun.
Vintage.
We named the Monkey Jack. And then other than that, we got Eli. The glare is over him, but Eli is up there as well. But that's enough about our podcast studio. Cheek, how's your life been since episode 10, season 1? Shoe Nice, since Shoe Nice.
Not a day has gone by that I haven't thought about you guys. I missed recording podcast, and I couldn't be happier to be back in the stew with you.
You big sweetheart.
Back in the stew.
Yeah, I'm recording from a new location. I am recording from my girlfriend Hannah's house.
Ayo, Sugar Mama.
Ew.
Shout out to Sugar Mama.
Chicks
She
are
loves it when I
toy.
call her that. Let's go. Yeah, summer's wrapping up quick here, huh?
I mean, you want to talk about wrapping up quick on Monday, Denver. This weather's not exciting to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it quickly. But Denver dropped 60 degrees in 10 hours. Went from a 96-degree day to snowing the next day overnight.
Yeah, we got
That's
several
insane.
inches.
Yeah. It was
Did
pretty
you see?
nuts.
I'm sure everyone saw on social media those memes and pages of, in other news, like what's going on in 2020 in Colorado. And it's just like Denver is covered by a sheet of snow. And then on either side, it's just wildfires.
Yeah. It's like we're in a Game of Thrones episode. It's crazy.
Absolutely absurd. Yeah.
Yeah, the fires, those have been killing us. I mean, not as bad as California, obviously.
Or Oregon now, too.
Have you seen those pictures coming out of Oregon? Like they're like red, like the sky is just red.
The orange haze.
yeah.
It's
I have.
insane.
They're like
It's
downtown.
insane.
It looks like you guys ever play Zombies, Black Ops 2, where you're in like the transit map?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like red sky.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
That's
But
exactly
it's been smelling like campfire in Denver, and I live close to the mountains in Lakewood, which is close to Golden, and you can't even see the mountains. Like it's just pure smoke.
That's awful.
Yeah. It was on like Saturday. It was literally raining ash. Like there was bits of ash falling from the sky constantly. You would have thought it was like a snow flurry. So yeah, pray for us. We're gonna be okay, but it is tough for some people out there.
Yeah.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to those being displaced by the fires.
Yeah. You wanna something harrowing that I saw. That's a word, right? Harrowing.
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 So
Yeah,
that's my Boston accent. But
like Dan Harrow.
Dan. Okay.
Just ignore it.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we there's a picture, or I saw in the news today that they found the remains of some boy who died in the fires with his dog in his lap.
You talking about Pompeii?
It sounds like Pompeii. Yeah, but
Where was this?
I think it's Oregon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
How awful is that?
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I read that and I had to share it so that so it can make you guys sad too.
So let's,
An exciting start that took a dark turn.
let's take that and move in an upwards direction.
Let's take a 5-minute break.
Yikes.
Let's go Bills, yo.
I don't know if anyone else watched Sunday football today, but the NFL's back, baby.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum.
Yeah, that was funny. It was like
Bills at
robots
home, 1
that
p.m.
throwing the football.
Taking on Darnold and the Jets.
It's like
Scrubs.
it's like Achilles taking on Hector outside the gates of Troy.
That is generous to call the Jets Hector.
Well, I'd call him Paris because Paris is such a wuss, but he defeats Achilles, so I don't want to talk about that. By a stroke of luck, maybe. Maybe that's the Texans last year. But I'm excited to have the Dan Feets on later this season to talk about the Bills with, although he's going to be talking at a very higher level than we'll be able to chat about him. Cheek, you yawning?
Ooh, yeah, boyo, it is
It's late over there,
11:46 my time.
Hey.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, baby.
Late night recording. Cheers to that, baby.
Hey.
Anyway, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Let's go Bills.
Man, we love them.
Any of y'all doing fantasy?
Yeah,
Nah.
I'm in 3 leagues, Cheek.
That's a lot of leagues. That's too many leagues.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Cheek?
Yeah, I'm in one league with my brother and his wife and some of the guys from Hobart. Pretty good draft this year. I like my team.
Name top 3, in your opinion.
Top 3 on my team.
Yeah.
I got McCaffrey.
Boo.
I got Josh Allen's my starting QB. Although I should have started. I picked up Rodgers late too, and he put up numbers today, so he might turn into the starting quarterback next week.
Did he do better than Josh Allen?
Yeah, Rodgers threw for like 4 touchdowns. The Packers game was an insanely high scoring game. It was like 47 to like 32 or something. Yeah. It was insane.
Our girlfriend
he put up like 31 points.
Our girlfriend's a Vikings fan, so we watched that with her family. They're all in town this weekend, so
love that. They left pretty sad, I'm sure.
Tough loss.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is a man that does not fear death, so do not fear death.
I also low-key pickup that's going to be real great this season is Will Fuller.
Oh,
The wide receiver out of Houston, who's the number 1 guy now that DeAndre Hopkins is gone, which I fully admit I don't know a lot about football and I don't pay attention to a lot of other teams besides the Bills. But that became very clear to me when I had Will Fuller on my bench and he went off for 20 points Thursday night. And I was kicking myself in the butt for not starting him.
yeah. Also, David Johnson's back. I don't know if you followed him in the last couple of years.
Oh, I've got him. He's on my team.
Generic name that is.
I know.
David Johnson.
You know what I was thinking about the other day is like villains who have accountants' names. And the only one that I have so far is like, obviously Davy Jones is like a badass name. But if you say his full name, his name is just David Jones, which is just like you'd see that on a nameplate at like an accounting
100%,
office.
100%.
Someone said another one. It was like Alex Luthor.
Who's that?
Lex Luthor, like the Superman
Lex
villain.
Luthor, yeah, that's a good
Alex
one.
Luthor is another one that our girlfriend mentioned. That is just like it just.
That sounds like a lacrosse player's name or
Alex
something like that.
Luthor, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I couldn't think of any other one. The other one that pops into my head is Jafar, but that's just a cool name, regardless. So
That's
a cool name. Yeah.
Troy, Achilles. What's Achilles' last name?
That's a
Heel?
good question.
No, that's something else.
Achilles Smith, probably. But yeah, you started classes up again.
Yeah.
You got a new Wacom tablet.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by it.
Lots changed since the end of the last season. Our girlfriend moved in with me, not Jay.
Yep.
That's some big news.
Ooh,
She chose E over all of us.
that's tough for me and Jay.
Yeah.
In her defense, I live in Vermont. That would have been a long move for her.
Yeah. You're next, Cheek.
I know someone who's got their eye on you, Cheek.
She goes by the name of Sugar Mama.
I hope she has her eye on me.
Yeah. At least one.
Soon enough, the whole world is going to have their eye on you after they mash that follow button.
Yeah.
After they hit that subscribe button, you betcha.
Well, our big debut. Whoa, excuse me, hit my mic. Our big debut on YouTube's really going to make us visually famous, obviously.
Yeah. I hope we get some more of those Shoe Nice fans mashing that dislike button.
Those guys did not like us.
No. They were on us like hounds.
Interview ever.
We do appreciate you coming, Shoe Nice, but your fans did not appreciate you coming on.
No.
And we now have haters for life, so we appreciate that. That's a first for us.
Feels kind of good.
Yeah, it does actually.
If any of those Shoe Nice listeners are, for some reason, tuning into this episode of the podcast, come at me, DM me. I'm at Cheeky Sean on Instagram. That's CheekySean on Instagram. Come at me, DM me. Let's start something.
They
all right?
honestly seem like people who would tune in just because they hate us so much. Like
I would love that.
Yeah,
Like, let's see what these scumbags are up to now.
Yeah, what intelligent remarks do you have for me that you have spent your days following Chris Shoe Nice?
yeah. They probably are like, how inadequate do I want to feel today? And they just like listen to us to feel extremely inadequate. To listen to the most creative people
guys in the world. Money.
They've got some good insults, I'm sure. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, your mom. Oh boy. Well, Cheek, did you give us your update already? It's been a while since I've hosted.
Yeah, I gave you an update.
I don't have many updates. We got we rebranded. We got a new color scheme. We have a new logo thanks to Eli.
We got a logo. It's looking great.
Yeah, we have new theme music. We have branding galore.
New webcam, new house.
We got a couple new lappies. I'm coming from a new lappy.
Yeah.
Jay's got a new lappy.
Yeah, baby.
I heard lappy and I was like, what is that, a dog? You get 2 new dogs?
Cheek just holds up 2 puppies.
2 lapping Labradors.
Just never mentioned it to us at all. It's like, oh, I just remembered. We got candles.
Yeah, we got some new candles.
Yeah, Cheek.
I don't have any candles. Do you have candles?
No, I just looked around. I don't think we do.
I think I left them on.
Cheek, what's that?
Where did that come from? I guess we do have candles.
Oh, that's where we left it.
Oh, man.
Spooky episodes.
Spooky. I love being able to rely on the visual comedy because we're just so good at it.
No, yeah.
Tune in on YouTube.
So
if
sweet
you're not
at
listening on YouTube, what are you doing?
Make sure your FPSs are turned up on high because
You don't want another Joker impersonation going wrong.
Tune in later for Cheek sleeping. Oh boy. All right. Well, maybe we should
Get to it.
What's this I hear about a soul?
Cheek, do you have one?
Beats me.
Yeah. First of all, E, who do you know here?
I know Jake Law. Oh, should I say the names?
Jake L.
Jake L. Ben Big Titty B. I got Jay Swizzle Money, and I know Cheeky Farrell.
All right.
And then Stinky Pete. That's one.
Yeah, Sleepy Pete right now.
Stinking Sleepy Pete.
That was my random question I forgot to fire off. But I didn't think you knew anyone here, so that's...
No, I know plenty of brothers.
Yeah, you're fine. Who do you know? Up or down, baby? Yeah, so I want to talk about soul. And I think soul is a topical topic for these days. Because in my opinion... soul is like the non-religious aspect of, or it's a religious aspect of your body that can be totally disassociated from religion if you want. It's like to me, it's like the root of all religion, what they're all saying. Cause like for me, the base of what religion is talking about like, what are you doing when no one else is looking? Who's holding you accountable type of thing, you know? That's the ethics that I get out of religion as a base, and interrupt me if you guys think I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of what I take away from it. And for me, soul is that like that it's that thing that embodies that, and your soul is kind of like, I don't know, there's things like aura and spirit, other words to describe it, but like they kind of indicate who you are as a person. And the idea of having a soul is that one thing that keeps those morbid people from saying like, oh, everyone's going to die anyways, you know, because like if you believe in soul, it's basically saying that you have something that keeps you something to live for beyond just your human body. And there are people in history who have weighed your soul. I mean, given this was a jank medieval century cotton man, it was like this guy who made cotton back in the day, like cotton goods and stuff like that. And he had like one of the most advanced weight, keeping weight techniques, and he wanted to prove that there is a weight to his soul, and so he measured someone as they were dying and he had their weight consistent throughout that, and as soon as they died he calculated a 3.5 ounce difference of what he calculated as their soul leaving their body. And that was one of the first times people were kind of like, oh shit, maybe there is a weight to his soul. And whether you believe that or not, which I find it hard to believe, but
that's a crazy story either way.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how that dude died.
Yeah, like what I didn't see what he's dying of either, but like
was he just like holding on to dear life until the end of the experiment? He's like, oh, finally, sweet relief.
Just imagine like walking over to the lab. Like,
go lay on
gonna die soon.
Let's go to die. Today's the day.
I promised Giovanni that I would die on a scale. He just walks over, lays down. Imagine like he probably didn't die like in 10 minutes either. They're just like sitting there like
waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, like
he pokes him with a stick.
Maybe they poisoned him.
He's still alive.
Dude, maybe they just poisoned him.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he was like a captive, and someone that you felt was expendable, and you strapped him down to that scale, and you shoved a bottle of poison down his throat. That's how you killed him.
Wouldn't that guy, if you're measuring the weight of a soul, wouldn't you think that the theory would be he'd have a lighter soul and maybe not be worth running that experiment on?
No,
yeah, not at all. So you think if this was some kind of bandit that they stole back from Australia, the jail continent, and put him on a scale, poisoned him, and he had that heavy of a soul? Do you think like Aristotle had like a 5-pound soul?
No, I feel like, first of all, I don't think that the soul is something that's measurable, personally, in my beliefs. But if it was, I feel like, do you think that other people's would have different weights? I guess I hadn't thought about that. Because it seems like an intangible thing, but I guess if we're measuring it, it must be tangible in some format. But I find it hard to believe that someone's soul is going to be a significant amount heavier or lighter than somebody else's soul, theoretically, if it is measurable, which I don't believe it is.
Well, ride with me for a second. If there was a weight to a soul, what would factor into the weight? Is it a percentage of your body weight? Or is it...
I don't think so. I think it's...
If there was.
That's an interesting question. I don't think it has anything to do with body weight. I think it's something more mystical, and it's a little light that everyone has inside of them. No matter how fat or not fat you are, it's probably the same size light.
Sound like the little Pinocchio cricket.
Please take that as a pull quote. No matter how fat you are, everyone has a little light inside of them.
Oh my God.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I don't know. You have any weigh in on this so far?
Maybe the 3.5 ounces of change was just the guy shitting himself.
But that would have been on the scale too.
Oh, I don't know what the scale is like. What year did this happen?
I don't know.
No. It's kind of funny though, like, because most people shit themselves when they die. So like, he's just waiting for him to die, and like, here's a fart leak out. He's like,
it's the first person to observe that.
He's dead.
I'm assuming that it was during like textile industry era, so maybe like 1800s, and I'm assuming he was on like a big old stretcher, because it was meant to weigh cotton cloth, like big amounts of cotton cloth, so it was probably laid on this big platform, I'd assume. So yeah, I don't know, but I also agree that I think that's a little bit of bogus, and there's probably some scientific error factored into that, since you only did it once too. Like, it's probably hard to recruit people to come die on your slab.
It could also very well be him just being like making up results because he wants attention or something like that.
True. Yeah, like, for that to have any sort of merit, I feel like there has to be a lot of trial and different, there has to be more than one subject.
Yeah.
You got to be able to compare results over, a number of experiments.
Peer-reviewed.
One guy
people
died,
studies.
Cheek, when I die, you can weigh me on a slab for the sake of science.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And just throw me in the trash.
Just huck me into the recycling. Please recycle me, though.
Jay, I'm going to make you into a tree when you die. You know those things where you...
I heard about that, yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, you cremate the person, and then you send your ashes to some company, and they put it in a compost that has a sapling of a tree, and you plant that tree in the ground, and then people are like, "Oh, Uncle Joe's our big oak tree back there."
I'm kind of creeped out. No, he's not.
Uncle Joe's the fucking fertilizer that made that tree grow.
Kind of creeped out by that.
Cheek, what tree would you be if you did that?
I like to think I'd be a maple tree because I'm so sweet.
You got that inner light in you.
The inner light.
Bunch of little fireflies hanging out around you. I'd want to be a willow tree.
I'd probably I want to be a conifer, actually. I'd be a big, pine tree.
I want to be some Kentucky bluegrass.
Just fertilize some dude's lawn.
Pigeon Tyler specifically.
Shout outs to Pigeon Tyler, our boy.
Nice new mullet. Yeah, I don't know. So back on track with that. The soul.
The soul.
Yeah.
Forgot where we were for a sec.
And brought to you by the Joker.
Cheek. Shucks.
Cheek, we can't pull one out of you this early.
You guys have been trying to feed him all day. I've heard it. I'm just ignoring it.
Come on, Cheek. If I die, I want you to fertilize your Joker impressions with me.
JJ, if you die, I will do a Joker impression while I'm giving a eulogy at your funeral.
Oh my, that would be so out of place.
Eli's the only person who would have any context for it. I would just be up on the podium in tears and everyone's starting to cry a little bit. And I just lift my head up from the podium and I've got Joker painting on.
And then what'd you say?
And then I do some sort of quote from the Joker.
You just start going to, my father was a drinker. Just the whole crowd, what?
Everyone's no, he's not. We know your dad.
He's sitting front row.
And a friend.
And a toe doctor.
Yeah. People are crying, but looking up what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Wait a second.
Yeah. All right, well, Cheek, we will get one out of you before the end of this episode. It's season 2, episode 1, Cheek. You know you're gonna squeak one out.
You gotta please the fans.
You know you're gonna squeak one out.
Talk to me about your soul, Jay.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
And you don't give me a Joker impersonation.
But I don't know. Do you guys believe there is a difference between spirit and soul?
No.
I think
it's all the same thing.
Or what am I thinking of? All goes to the same thing, means the same thing.
Yeah.
Or referring to. God, I couldn't even think of the word referring.
Podcast host, let's go.
Hey, you got
if you're speaking in the sense that spirit as in theoretically the thing that is a ghost after you die sort of spirit and soul in that instance, yes, but not somebody's got great spirit, that's a different
spirit.
kind. Yeah, that's a different kind of spirit, Oh, that guy's got great spirit.
I see an Uncle Sam poster with his 2 fists up like this. The fighting spirit of America. Oh, have you guys seen my new background? You see that?
It's a bit
It's that jacked eagle.
Yeah.
It's this painting of
with
an
a
eagle
firework
with an 8-pack, and it has this upper coat of arms, but it's exposed at the gut to show his 8 to 12-pack, and then he has this stake with a huge firework on the end that's lit, and it's pinstriped in red, white, and blue, and it's ready to blow, and then the backdrop is just this huge American flag, and obviously the eagle's wearing red, white, and blue too. Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
I miss the old background you had of that guy doing those dances.
Yeah, did you guys know, Cheeks, you know you can make a live photo as your background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't know that you could make one, but I know they have the preset lives.
Oh yeah, like the color explosions.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah, so you can. I saved a video off TikTok one time of this old man doing some cool moves.
Those are pretty spot on. You watch that a lot.
You practiced.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. Premium content, baby. But yeah, sorry, back to the topic. I love the tangents and all, but I'm only 190 shilling deep. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I think spirit and soul, I don't think this, but there are times that spirit and soul are defined differently. And soul, the difference would be that soul is what's like passed on to another body or another, like to another life, where your spirit is something that's unique to this individual life. So when you die, your spirit is lost. So like that fighting spirit that you're talking about, Cheek, that is kind of lost with your life. That's what makes you unique. And then soul is kind of the contents of, it's more of an aggregate effort over lives, because a lot of religions believe that like you die, you get another shot at it. You might not remember it or whatever, but like people talk about having an old soul or like having old lives where you have a soul that that has experience, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of the difference that I've seen in my research. But yeah, I don't know. I think the idea of soul is whether or not I believe in it, it's a very useful concept, because I think it does give you that accountability that no one else can give you. Like, your parents aren't always going to be watching you, your friends aren't always going to be watching you. There are going to be things you do on your own that no one sees, that only you can live with. So it's like that voice in your head that you hear when you're going to do something good or bad, and no one would know the difference, but it's kind of for you. I don't know.
It's like your ultimate report card.
It's your ultimate report card. Beautiful. Yeah. And Cheek, are you getting A's? Jury's out. You got time.
I'm like, I like to think I'm like a B plus. I think generally I'm a good guy and I do the right things. I think we all like to think that.
Do you have a voice in your head that sometimes when you do something or thinking about doing something bad, that kind of tugs back on you?
Nah.
No?
Not really.
I do.
I don't describe it as a voice. I think it's more of like an instinctual feeling that everyone gets, like, oh, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I'm getting the butterflies. It's not like I hear Jiminy Cricket in my ear whispering, "Don't do that, John. Don't do that."
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Clarify. What do you mean, like, you shouldn't do that? Like, you talking about, like, jumping off a cliff and you get, like, shaky knees, or
like
trashing a house?
Trashing a house.
Yeah.
Let's go smash some of these light bulbs. I got the butterflies in my tummy.
Blame it on JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about what about you, E?
A voice in my head that tells me what I'm doing is bad.
For example, like, smallest scale of things, like, I'll drink out of a cup and I'll put it by the dishwasher. And I'll be like, I should really just put that in the dishwasher. Like, there's no reason to leave it out and make someone else clean it up later, or make me clean it up later.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just be the better thing to do to put it, and you kind of like tug at yourself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like that's just like a skill that you got to build up over time. Like, as a kid, when I was younger, it would be like, I get that all the time, and sometimes I'd indulge in it, other times I wouldn't. And then once I started doing it, it went from being like so hard, like I really don't want to like just immediately doing it right away as soon as that pops in my head. Because like otherwise I will feel guilty about it throughout the day.
How do you interpret that though? Do you interpret it as like a voice like JJ hears, or more like a feeling like I experience?
I would say it's more of a feeling. Like kind of like a thorn in you almost.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. Yeah.
I will literally talk to myself. I'll have an argument in my head. Be like, Jay, you know you should do that. And then other Jay will be like,
and that side always wins.
And that one's the one that always wins. And here we are making a podcast. But Yeah, I don't know. I definitely have. I think it's the same thing, just two different methods of the same thing. But yeah, I think it definitely emerged more when I was a kid. There was like the risk of temptation versus the right thing to do, and you're always like pulling at yourself. And I think your soul / your personality is dependent on how many of those things you say yes to. Like how many times you say yes to the right urge versus the wrong urge, the blue pill versus the red type of thing. How many?
You think that your soul will change, or your soul will grow in a different way depending on all the decisions that you make?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying would rely on thinking there's some kind of judgment past dying, because otherwise the point, like you're saying there's points for you basically.
Exactly.
And you're saying there's some kind of judgment past dying, which is a whole nother, I mean, it's in this line of conversation, so I don't mean to discourage us from that, but yeah, like, yeah, I was talking more locally as like it makes up your personality, because at some point when you get older, you get those urges less, I think, and you just act on impulse and your experience and things like that. And so that kind of makes up who you are as you're older. But in addition to that, there are a lot of theories of like basically a point system that just like is like as you do the good thing versus the bad thing. Every time you hear that tug, do you respond to it positively or negatively? Eventually, do you make it above that threshold past
no turning back?
Yeah. Get into heaven.
Yeah.
If you were to be judged right now, JJ, are you positive or negative on that scale? As in positive being good and negative being bad.
This is going to sound bad, but how well do you rate intentions?
Intentions mean nothing. Actions mean everything.
I don't know. All right. On a scale of 1 to 20, Cheek, where's that threshold?
For making
We're
it?
at 20?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you want? Out of 100. Out of 100, I just want to get a gauge to see how high the threshold is so I can tell you if I made it or not.
I'm not even trying to do a threshold. I think I just want, like, on this level of the scale, there's all the good things that you've done. And on this level of the scale, there's all the bad things.
So it's like cumulative.
Which way is that scale leaning? And if you were to be judged today, would you be looked upon favorably by St. Peter or whoever may be doing the judging?
I like to think that it's Nosferatu.
For all our listeners out there who are unfamiliar with Nosferatu,
I like to think it's Coco LaBouche, but I don't know. I think I'd make it.
Around the question.
I think, yeah, I'm beating around the bush. Excuse me, listeners. I'm a good guy, all right? I think I have great intentions. I think I act upon them. I think I'm a good person. I think the fight that I'd be fighting against is everything under the age of 18. Under the age of 20, probably.
Really?
Not everything.
I think that's common for a lot of people. I'll tell you why. Because I feel similar. Like I've done a bunch of shitty stuff in my past too, but like now I'm at the point where I have like good intentions and morals and like want to help people. I know that like it's just like better for me and other people, helping other people than being selfish. And if you're judging like cumulatively, like I don't know if the good outweighs the bad or not, but
it's gaining.
It's gaining, like it's catching up weight if it's low.
You're fighting an uphill battle though.
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like we caught on pretty early in age, whereas a lot of people are still selfish in old age. But
yeah. Do you think there's always a chance to make up for it and change?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always a time where the momentum can shift?
Yeah.
You don't think people are past the point of no return?
No, as long as they like truly, truly change.
Cheek, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I think that anyone can change, but I think those people that have approached the theoretical point of no return, have already done so much bad that no amount of repenting will ever change the awful and evil that they did in the world. I also don't think that I would be judged very well right now in life, but
Why?
You tore that house down, that's why.
Tore that house down.
How many points is that against you?
Give that a solid negative 30.
Definitely a lot. I don't know. Like I've just
There's got to be a
like
way.
for all everything that is well intentioned in my life, like is also well intentioned to improve my life. If I try and think about like what did I do that was actually truly selfless and to maybe help improve my community or the people around me, or like regardless of all the not shitty things that I've done, a lot of those things are also just like for own personal gain. Like, is that good? No, I don't think so.
Do you?
Maybe it's definitely not bad, but is it inherently very good? No, I don't think so.
So you think there's like, it might count in the good category, but it's a lesser weight?
But like not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would also say
Like-
the bad things you did under 18 would also have a lesser weight, because everyone's got to do those bad things to judge how they feel when they do them, I think.
Yeah.
That's at least how I would think.
That's what I was getting at. It's like experimental. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times I'd do something for myself. Like I'd feel shitty or depressed and I'd be like, I'm going to do this just for myself. And I'd feel shittier afterwards because it was like selfish. And it's experimental. And you're like, okay, that actually doesn't help.
Yeah.
And then you help someone else and you're like, I feel better. They feel better. Like that's obviously the way I feel better.
Yeah. I would argue being good is just finding a way to be good to others while being good to yourself.
Ooh.
So I don't think
That's some inner light right there.
there's all right, so this is a whole nother thing. There's a phrase for what you're talking about, Cheek, where there's like, it's like a self-rewarding altruism, where you're talking about like,
Yeah, like you
I
do
do
good
good
things
things.
because you know the good things are going to let you into heaven one day or whatever. Like, is that actually being good or is that just being selfish?
yeah, it's like the Instagram mission trips, you know, where you go and you
Yeah.
take pictures with like the poor children and you make yourself feel better. But you may be doing something good on top of that. It may not be the most efficient way of doing good, but I mean, that's a whole nother topic. Some of those trips, they literally like, you go build a house and then they knock it down and then let a whole nother group in. But
What? Seriously?
yeah, there's some of those trips you pay to go on, and then you go there, you like build a house as a group, and then they knock them down, and then the
That's
next group comes in.
absurd.
Yeah, it's just a pay
That's
scheme.
actually insane.
Yeah, those people are bad. Those people are not going anywhere good.
Those people aren't doing well.
Yeah,
Are
bad.
they even going anywhere, or are they just in like some dude's backyard in Michigan building like a hut and taking pictures?
They blindfold you, toss you in the back of a van, drive around a couple times, take you out, you build a house, and they toss you back in. And they tell you went to Mexico.
Wow.
No, I think you go to those places, but like, just people trying to make a pretty penny.
Yeah. I
But-
mean, like everyone finds ways to make money in the current situation in the world. Doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah. I've talked to people who think that, disclosure, I don't agree with this, but there's people who think, and I get why you can think this, but that is like, if you do something that's purely good, but you only do it, or you do it partially at least because you know you'll feel better afterwards, that isn't purely good. And I just, and they say that's not necessarily like the best thing, but I just disagree with not condoning that altogether, because like, who's it harming if they're doing good to make themselves feel good? You know? Like,
Yeah.
what's the issue with that? If you're doing, if I go to said third world country and I actually do good, I volunteer my time, I pay my money, I don't cost anything to anyone else, and say I did it because it made me feel better. So what? Then I'd still do the same amount of good as someone who did it without having to feel good about
I think
themselves?
you're just nitpicking behavior at that point. just to find a problem with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. And if you're that kind of person that's like, oh, that's not the same amount of good as what I'm doing, I guarantee the person that's saying that is also doing good to feel better. Because what's the point of calling someone out if you are a do-gooder for the sake of good? Because like if you're there like, Cheek, you only did that because you wanted to be known for being good. Where's that competitive aspect coming from? It's definitely coming from a place of like, I wanted to be the one who felt better than you felt about yourself. Yeah.
Like not even appreciating what they did, but criticizing them for doing something good.
Yeah.
Like you're undermining good behavior at that point.
Does it matter how you went about it and why you went about it if you're just doing the same thing? It's kind of an ends justifying the means argument, I guess. I don't know. Cheek, what do you think on that?
I think it's a load of hooey.
Which part?
I mean, maybe doing good things makes you feel good, so you'll do more good fucking things.
Isn't
maybe
that
that's
what makes
why
you
it's
a
set
good
up
person?
that way.
Isn't that what makes a good person, right? Like if you're doing something good, it makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's complete nonsense. So whoever believes that do something good but don't feel good about doing it, like what? What?
I hope you hate this.
Just torture yourself over this.
Oh my God, dude.
But yeah, so I feel like those people who say that, first of all, are aiming to be something they're not. But on top of that, they're seeing someone like a Gandhi and being like, this guy is an embodiment of spiritual light enlightenment type of thing. And they're like, this guy is just good. His actions are just good. And maybe that's true, but I find it hard to believe he didn't feel good about
Gandhi
it.
did some shitty stuff, dude.
That's true. But I find it hard to believe that he didn't feel good about the good stuff he did. Why wouldn't that make him a psychopath?
Yeah. I agree.
I think that the people criticizing those for doing it because it makes them feel good are people who don't actually put in the work and like go out and volunteer or help other people.
They want to
make
themselves feel better.
I think they're the type of people who just sit back and criticize others for doing their things, because inherently, if you're helping other people, like if you go to a soup kitchen and like you're talking to like people that are homeless and serving them food, that's like a great experience. You're talking to these people, you're getting to know them, you're like learning new perspectives, and that's rewarding. And to say that, oh, like shame on you for making yourself feel good by helping these people, that's just like so disconnected from what it's all about. Like it's supposed to be a good and rewarding thing by nature.
Agree. I think you see that in a lot of social movements too, where like you see like some people supporting that movement the way they think is best, and then other people, I mean, all right, there's obviously a ton of gray area. There's no black and white to this, but there's a lot of times where people be like, you're not supporting the movement the right way type of thing, you know? And it's just like, what? Even if that's true, even if what they're doing wasn't really that helpful and they did just make themselves feel better, which may be on the more harmful spectrum of what we're talking about, isn't there a more constructive way to talk about that?
Yeah, you're attacking the movement.
Yeah. Because I think that's where what we're talking about can get more harmful, is that like if you do the bare minimum and then feel like you actually change something, that's where people get at least frustrated. The people who are doing something actually that makes a difference and putting a lot of effort into it, and then seeing these people who put themselves on the same level as you, and then they're all of a sudden saying that they've done what they're equaling to yours. So I think it gets frustrating in that regard, but a lot of people don't know how to have that constructive conversation and instead alienate them. So like something that I'm thinking about is in the Black Lives Matter movement, when people were posting black squares, and I think our Instagram even did this, but the whole idea of the black squares was it was supposed to be a blackout Tuesday, which was basically like no one will advertise on it, so it leaves the information streams open for Black Lives Matter only information. And then people switch it over to posting a black square and like showing solidarity. And a lot of people got mad because there are people who are posting that stuff who didn't actually go out and do anything, who would post that square and then think that they did a lot. And that frustrated people who were actually out there protesting, actually out there enforcing policy changes, talking to like representatives and things. And so that caused them to get mad at the people posting black squares. So that's just, I'm not taking a side on any of the issue. I'm just saying that is a situation where that kind of came up, where you have happened, that. Yeah. I don't know. Did you notice that at all, Cheek?
The people getting mad at other people for the use of the black square?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely listened to the newsreels and the criticisms that a lot of people had. I mean, I don't know. As long as you have good intention and you truly are an ally and supportive, like even if you didn't get to go to New York and protest with everyone and march with everyone, like, you know, I would have loved to go on to New York and protest with my sister who was down there in the streets, but I don't have a job where I can work from home during a pandemic. I'm still out there every day grinding, making a very little amount of money to try and support myself. That doesn't mean that, you know, my posting of the black square is, you know, just something to get my Instagram ego off. Like, you know, I don't come at me. I don't want to hear that. Like,
yeah.
And I think for the most part, that's probably the case. But there was, I'm sure it's true the other way as well. I'm sure there were people out there just doing it for the Instagram attention and for the ego boost. But I think for the most part, like, fuck off. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm also a firm believer that no one is just flat out nefarious enough. Maybe not no one, but like, I don't believe in bad. I believe in situations making someone grow up to be counter to like popular culture type of thing. Like this is going to be rough, but I don't think Donald Trump he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy, obviously. He does bad things, but part of me is willing to acknowledge that he came up out of a system. He's a product of a system that developed him into the person he is. I don't think he's necessarily just sitting there being like, how can I be the worst person I can be? I think he's playing within the rules he was given as someone who grew up with a shitty father and a shitty family with rich parents and didn't want to raise him, that kind of thing, and just kind of threw money at him to make him feel better type of thing. Like, I think that someone like that grows up and ends up being within their own context and can only operate within those rules.
Yeah, completely. I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
So like people get
you're born neutral.
Yeah.
All we are is a culmination of our past experiences. Like, no one is born hating, or no one is born no one's born being Gandhi either, or Mother Teresa. Like,
right.
You are a result of your past experiences, and we are now where we are because of where we came from and the people that surround us and the experiences we've had. And no, Donald Trump wasn't born evil. No, Gandhi wasn't born Gandhi. So
it's kind of like,
I mean, that's my opinion.
You're like a Plinko piece is how I advertise it. And when you're born, that Plinko piece is dropped.
Wait, what's a Plinko piece?
You know what Plinko is?
No.
It's
a bunch of nails and a board.
It's almost like an air hockey disc, that gets dropped, and there's this whole board with like nails punked in it, and it bounces off the nails until it ends in a certain spot. Usually it's used for gambling.
Yeah.
Do you remember at my old house?
I was just going to say,
there's a game show on TV about that now.
Oh, it was that's an older show.
There's a new one that's like brand new.
The Michael Jordan show?
No.
What is it? Or LeBron James is what I meant.
No, the way that it goes is like, it's kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where there's a banker, and based on where the ball is dropping, it hits all those nails, and it'll end on a bunch of different numbers. Mm-hmm. And every time it lands on, I think you start with $1 million, and it goes down and it lands in, say, 10,000. Now you're down $10,000 from that original million. Mm-hmm. And you have to throw the ball 10 times. and however much money you're left with, but the banker can buy you out at any time. So the banker's buying you out is dependent on how much money is left on the potential board.
Which is basically just putting the control of deal or no deal into the faith of the Plinko board. Because like it's just chance regardless, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only game I see here is The Wall. It's called The Wall.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's LeBron James's show.
I think that's what I just described.
Yeah, but it's an old show. It came out in 2017. Regardless.
Oh, maybe.
It doesn't matter. But it's a cool concept where you have like these big dodgeballs and then some of them are a different color and they mean more, right? I think. I don't know. But they drop back to what I was talking about. It's basically this the concept is that like you're born, you're dropped, and the pegs that you hit along the way are kind of what sends you in the direction of who you become, and you end up in that slot at the bottom. So that's more of a determinism philosophy on life, like less that you make your own choices and more that you
that's a whole other theory, and like our future's already set out for us, and we're on a one-track path.
Jay coming at us with the theory.
Woo. Yeah, I
like that.
For me, I guess the point of philosophy is debating things that you have no control over, but just trying to figure out the meaning of light. Cheek, is that candle floating on its own?
Huh?
But one thing I want to do at some point is I want to do a topic about, what is it? Quantum entanglement. Which,
Jesus.
Cheek, where are you going?
He's grabbing his quantums real quick. He leaves
them
under the fridge.
But I want to get into quantum entanglement, and I was talking about this with a friend named Rob the other day, and basically they're saying...
Talking about Sax Guy?
Sax Guy, yeah.
Nice.
The whole theory, and it's not really a theory anymore, is that the observation of particles influences their behavior.
You're talking about like if it is a particle or a wave?
Yes. It's about the wave being the probability and the particle is the actuality of the observation. Mm-hmm. So they've actually observed particles acting differently when they were observed than when they weren't. And basically the whole...
Wait. How do you know how the particle or the wave is acting unobserved when the only way to measure it is while being observed?
So there's different points. This is deep. This is
we're getting into it right now. This is
getting so deep, and it's going to have to be another conversation. But to kind of touch on it, the point of observation basically creates new realities from that point of observation. So they can calculate the statistical likelihood of some. So like the experiment was they shot a bunch of atoms at a sheet of paper through two slits. And they know how they should be distributed based on just like statistics and things like that. But just shooting them through made them distribute themselves differently. But as soon as they put like a chip in there to observe how they were hitting that paper in the back and how many went through the right side versus the left side, and just having something there to monitor that changed the outcome. And then on top of that, and that leads into all these theories of like multiple realities, because like there's a lot of people who believe that if there's a car driving down a street and it has the option at the end of the street to turn right or left, that it actually does both. But the one that you see happens only happen in reality, but it's also guaranteed that the other way also happens.
That's some confusing stuff.
Yeah, I've watched the same YouTube videos on it like 8 times in a row.
What do you know when those YouTube videos were posted? Like how recent they are?
How new this information is? It's since 2016, I'd say, pretty confidently.
Because I remember my first year of college, I took a quantum mechanics course, and that was something we learned about, but I haven't heard like any updated things since, which was like 2014.
People are definitely making new videos on it and things, at least on YouTube.
That's so interesting.
It's hard to fathom. That's gonna be a topic that I'm gonna have to give you guys a little head start on, because it's really, really hard to grasp even the ideas, let alone the reality of the fact that the evidence leads to that everything is happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just that's a mind conundrum.
So there's an alternate reality where my father isn't a drinker? Oh man, heavy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. So that was coming. Wow, what a tangent!
We got from souls to quantum entanglement.
But I don't think they're too far off, because I think we're talking about like what makes up your soul, what contributes to what your soul's attributes are, because we're coming from a place of like the good points versus bad points. And I think that it kind of all plays into it. Like determinism is another factor. Like you can try to pretend your actions have no consequences or that you're not causing your own actions, but to some extent you have to be active. And if you choose not to be active, that could be just a product of your reality as well. So,
that sounds like some butterfly effect stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great flick.
Are you guys, with all that said, do you guys consider yourself free will people or determinism people? I don't know if determinism is even the right phrase. I'm using that to describe life happens to you versus you happen to life, basically. Which side of that argument?
I think that we're all just a program and it's a cuter, and that
Hey,
I'll drink to that.
somebody's punching the numbers and I'm doing what they tell me.
Well, you know what's funny is that a lot of the things that I read was about the soul. Simulation theory has this weird correlation with just about every part of philosophy. But in regards to this one, people are like, they think the only way to describe soul, because I think it's undeniable that there is soul. I don't know if you believe that there's soul beyond human soul. Maybe I don't know if you believe there's soul in animals and plants and stuff like that, but there's undeniable fact that there's soul in humans, because like all we are is just a bunch of atoms rubbing together, and we all kind of like create our own.
Are we rubbing together tonight, Jay, or what?
About chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Little nipperonis.
I'm jealous I can't rub over there. I'll tell you what, these atoms need to travel a long way.
But yeah, I think that yeah, I don't know.
So you think there's undeniable fact that humans have souls?
I think there is, because like there's these characteristics to us that have no reason to be. Like the fact that Eli has 6 buttons down and is exposing his hairy chest right now is not a physics thing. There's nothing about physics that's causing that.
That is just pure eroticness.
Just consider.
It's its own thing.
Consider these words an advertisement to watch our YouTube channel.
6 buttons deep.
But
Oh boy.
to me, it's hard to deny that there's a soul. But then once you start getting into like quantifying that soul, what is that soul? Then simulation theory comes into effect, because you start talking about like, is it something that was programmed into us? Is it something that someone said, it's these other factors that someone put into us other than our physical bodies? I don't know.
It's a glitch in the system.
Could be a glitch in the system. Did we do simulation on a trial episode, or was it a...
No, that was a legit.
It was a legit
one.
Real episode, yeah.
That's a good one. Simulation, I mean, we're going to talk a lot of philosophy on this podcast, and simulation comes up in almost all of them, because...
Jay, are there
we do
any
live in simulation.
philosophy books that you recommend an average Joe like myself might dip their toes in?
YouTube
Old
channels,
tootsies.
I'd say.
What's that?
I'd say YouTube channels.
That's what I'd say too. I can't think of a semi-good one that I've only read half of is Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. And it's very technical, it's very sciencey, but there is a lot of philosophy roped into it. I have that one on Audible, so I didn't read it, I listened to it. And I only listened to half of it. But yeah, I'd say YouTube, you can really get in cool wormholes on YouTube once you start watching like Kirkazan and CGP Grey, those YouTube channel accounts. They
really just synthesize like the real takeaways from it, and then that lets you sit and roast on them for a while.
Yeah, rather than reading
Are you reading anything these days?
Reading anything?
Yeah.
I'm reading a book about a therapist and a woman who murdered her husband. I forget the name of it, but our girlfriend
Is that
gave
for
it to
class
me.
or is that for fun?
That's for
blue
fun.
cover?
No, red cover.
Red cover.
But I am taking a philosophy course in school right now, and our teacher's basically just prescribing like 5 YouTube videos for every week of homework. So we just learned about like Plato's cave allegory.
Ugh.
A classic.
Plato's Cave. Did you talk about that, or is that something I saw on my own?
That's something you saw.
No,
on
we
your
talked
own.
about that. No, we talked about that on here.
We did?
Can you spark notes that for us?
It's
Like something with the shadows.
Yeah. There's like people in the cave looking at shadows. So like there's a candle, people are walking in front of the candle projecting shadows, and one guy escapes the cave and is like, holy shit, there's a whole world out here, and goes back to tell everyone, and everyone's like, hoopla, you bozo, that doesn't exist, and they get angry and then they kill him.
Yeah, you did tell us that one. That's right. It's basically like idiom for perspective, basically.
Yeah, for ignorance and yeah.
We're all ignorant. Cheek, you're in Plato's cave right now.
With all those candles.
Oh boy. I mean, there is so many spin-offs to this. Ooh.
I'm reading a book right now.
All right, I think that's all the time we have for this conversation.
We gotta wrap it up.
Thanks for
Pete, bro.
asking.
All right, Cheek, what book are you reading?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I'm reading Kitchen Confidential, Anthony Bourdain's book.
Oh.
I read that one.
It's a fun read. It's a good read. Hannah and I are trying to read for 30 minutes to an hour every night before bed, as opposed to just scrolling on the old phones.
Mm-hmm. Do you read aloud?
I have a couple of times because she doesn't like her book very much. So sometimes she asks me to read aloud, but I'm not very good at it. And I get quite embarrassed because there's a lot of François prononciation.
Oh, oui.
Oui, oui.
I see what you're talking about.
A lot of the French foods that I do not know how to pronounce. And it's really embarrassing, but it's fun.
I love that. That's good, though. Reading aloud is fun.
So your girlfriend's reading a book to you out loud?
No. I'm reading a book to her out loud.
Yeah, all right. La petite à la bouque, we are on the page 2.
Yeah, I got through the intro.
Boys, I'm so happy to be back on the podcast with you guys.
Hey, oui.
It how you say I make somebody smile. It brings how you Americans say joy.
This pathetic concept you Americans have. Joy.
What is this feeble feeling you have?
Feeble.
But yeah, I
Is
mean,
it time for a tinky?
a potty and re-up if you need cheek.
PP?
And welcome back. I just wanted to talk about the fact that Eli doesn't know how to say the word pudding. Cheek was having a snack pack during the break, and Eli was trying
Putting.
putting. He was
Like what you do when you're on the green at a golf course?
yeah. On a par 5, you get there in 3, you take 2 to put it in. That's putting.
That's putting with pudding.
Yeah. That's gonna be a premium content section that will give you, Eli. Puttin' with pudding.
Puttin' with pudding.
Putin is puttin' with pudding.
Or we could have premium content of audio files of me saying words wrong.
Yeah.
All of us.
You can use them. They're meant to be used as like ringtones.
Yeah. I appreciate
gestures.
it. Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it. You
I
just gotta
appreciate you so much.
Did I tell you that some of our loyal listeners have started messaging me, making fun of me, using appreciate?
That's awesome. Keep at it, followers.
Yeah, there's a couple
Listeners, please keep telling JJ you appreciate him.
most of them don't know it's me messaging them. Some of them do, like Austin B knows.
Well, now they can put a stupid face to that name.
Yeah. Or just
Truly.
a face to that name. But
Well, stupid one.
but yeah, apparently
JJ, I wear a whale's hat.
yeah,
Does that
it's
say
Pete's
whales?
hat. He doesn't know I have this. I've had it for years.
Oh, that is a stupid hat that Pete would wear.
Yeah. Microaggressions, stupid things that Pete says.
Pete's Dictionary.
But apparently, like, Austin B was telling me he's incorporated it in like his lingo with his friends. So.
No way, getting words wrong on purpose.
Yeah.
Hell
Especially
dude.
appreciate. So I appreciate you. I can't even say that word wrong, right? Austin B, you're throwing
It's
me
a
off,
tough
my
one.
guy.
We appreciate you.
Oh, we appreciate you. I'm gonna start trying to say it wrong and accidentally saying it right.
Yeah.
But I won't ever admit it, so you guys decide. One thing I was thinking about off the break, Cheek, was I was wondering more about if you consider that Anthony Bourdain book that you're reading a philosophy book. Because he talks a lot about his outlook on life and things like that, and it at least represents it pretty well. I was wondering what kind of
I think it's...
philosophical takeaways you get from it.
I mean, I think it describes his personal philosophy. I don't think that it's necessarily a book that's meant to perpetuate more thinking about philosophical viewpoints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it does a great job of describing how he viewed the world and his personal philosophies, but I don't think I would consider it a book on philosophy.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's an important distinction that I make. But like, you can take away, you can have philosophical takeaways from it and be like, I wish I could live my life more like that. Or there's something you can learn from that.
Oh my God. He has a great quote that I've been thinking about all week from it. Or I'm going to paraphrase this and definitely not get it right. There's an excerpt where he's talking about vegans and he's like, fuck the vegans. Like, they are so wrong. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, all of them talking about your body is a temple. Your body's a temple. No, it's not. Your body is a goddamn amusement park, and you should treat it as such. So smoke that cigarette. Like, have that drink of wine. Have that shot. Have that other beer. You know, go smoke some LSD and drink some crack and however else all that works. Obviously not to that extent, but like just embodying, like, you know, live your life, have fun, have experiences, and don't hold back.
Yeah.
So to paraphrase your paraphrase,
And eat the red meat.
Smoke
my
the crack.
father was a drinker. But yeah,
Eat
I
the
mean,
fatty cuts, eat the red meat.
a lot of
all
that
that
shit's
nonsense.
just how long do you want to live? Do you want to live a hard and fast 40 years or
Yeah.
a marathon of a 75?
Oh, eating greens like a tortoise.
Yeah, in this case, the tortoise and the hare win.
Live fast and leave a beautiful corpse.
That sounds like a Vin Diesel quote.
Live fast. It's triple
I
X.
also watched the Fast and Furious,
Hey.
not this weekend, but last weekend.
Which one?
The very first one. Oh my God.
You seem
What are you
stoked
doing
on
with
it
that
still.
Buster here? Because the Buster's the guy that kept me out of handcuffs.
Cheek, whenever you get excited, you do one of these.
I gotta stretch it out first.
Yeah.
He's just, letting it flow out.
That inner light.
The energy, because it starts in my belly and it expands up into my chestal section.
Diaphragm.
Chest.
And I let it explode.
Well,
Speaking of explode,
yeah,
let's
got
dive
diarrhea?
into my childhood trauma.
Bum bum bum.
Oh, cheers.
Is this? I can't tell. You say it with a smile on. I can't tell how deep we're about to
Traumatizing
get. I
it
hope it's
might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, how deep are we getting here, E?
All right. So
James Cameron deep.
it all happened in middle school.
Into the deep.
I think I can't remember the first instance, but what affected me so much in middle school was peeping toms. I'm talking about, for some reason, I don't know if this is normal, if you guys have experienced it, but we'll get to that. But at my school, peeping toms were rampant in the bathroom. So I would go to the bathroom, close a stall, take a chunk, and you know how there's always the little crevices in the stall? You could like see the sinks or whatever. Kids would come in and stick their eyeballs against those holes and stare at me pooping.
What?
Yeah. That didn't happen to you guys?
No.
Holy shit. Well, my school was full of weirdos. No, I shit you not. This is legit. And they would...
The other thing is, in our high school, there's a lot of bathrooms that are like single person bathrooms.
Oh, I see.
We
The
went
nice
to
one. If you were smart about taking a chonk in school, you would find one of the single person bathrooms. Like in the math wing, there was a great like handicap single person. You lock the whole door, no one can get in.
Yeah.
Now
I
that
rarely
is
took
luxurious.
chunks during school. Anyways, I try to
It
avoid
was
that.
very luxurious.
Actually, that's a whole nother story. My first poop in school was first grade. I always held it in, like JK, SK, all that. Traumatic experience.
One of these days, I'll tell the story of how I accidentally pooped in a girl's bathroom one time. But I think let's get back.
That's when you traumatize other people.
That's that's actually my childhood trauma. Maybe I'll tell that at the end of this episode, but we'll let you keep going.
So it wasn't like people were checking to see if I was in the stall. It was like kids would come in, go take a pisser, wash their hands, and then approach the stall and peep through the crack. And it was like prolonged stares, like just standing there for like a minute.
What do you think their end goal is in this situation?
I didn't know. I was like, I was
don't know these
shocked
kids at
by
all?
it.
You don't know who's
like
doing it?
my school was very small, so sometimes I could like recognize the faces, but other times I'd like just see their type of pants and shoes, and then I'd be like searching for it later.
Look at their ankles all day.
Like,
Yeah.
Hey, that's the kid that watched me poop.
Hey, poop guy.
But yeah, man, it was fucking weird. Guys watching you poop. I didn't know what to respond. Like, I said something to the extent of like, you enjoying the show or something, and they would not respond. Like they would just continue staring.
What?
And that was just, I was like, I don't know what to do. So
I feel like there's
I got a
spookers
question.
following.
Do you think
Yikes.
Was that
do you think that it was like the same person, or do you think that there was a group of people?
No, so this is the thing, is that it would be multiple kids. I would recognize multiple different kids. And so I have a whole theory that one kid started doing it, victimized another kid. He was so off-put by it that he started doing it himself, and it created like a chain. And then there's just kids watching other kids poop through the stall. And it was rampant, dude. I'm telling you. Like, there was no one perpetrator. There were many.
So you knew that there was multiple because of the different characteristics you could see beyond the stall, but you never knew who specifically was doing it, or you didn't always know specifically who was doing it?
I found out who was doing it. I would recognize the faces.
Oh, you always found out?
And so,
Call them out.
most of the time.
Call them out.
I didn't. I was like, I just want to move past this, but
No, call them out right now.
oh no, I don't actually remember who they are right now.
Like, give them a shout out on the
Sylvester
pod.
Tyrone, you watched me poop. I will never forget it.
I will die my breathing breath trying to haunt you in your pooping toilet.
But no, that's traumatized me today because now I watch other people poop and it's an addiction. So I go to like airports. They have the best stalls. I'll just watch people poop for a little bit, get out of my system. You laughing at my trauma?
So now they've turned you into a perpetrator, or should I say a poopatrator?
Poopatrator.
Poopatrator.
It's like an infection, bro. It just passes to you. Zombies watching people poop.
That is a weird. I can't. So this is a real thing that happened.
A real thing. And the whole time I was like, does this happen to other people at school? Like, not like at my school, but your schools and all that. And it's like, how common is that? It always felt like is that the right word? Clandestine? Like
clandestine.
Like a one instance putting. Yeah, weird. It never happened in high school. Like that was the greatest relief of graduating from that school is no one watched me poop anymore.
How many people were in your class?
Yeah,
in my
so that
class,
was going to be my next question.
Super small. In my class alone, in my grade, 16 kids.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, ridiculously small. It was awful. I hate it.
How many kids did you graduate with a class that small, or is it some weird middle school?
Yeah, no, like our class was especially small. Most classes were like 22 kids or so. But
did you go to a private school?
Yeah. And most of the kids
that makes a little more sense.
Most of the kids that watched me were like younger kids too. It wasn't kids from my grade. It was like younger kids watching me poop.
Maybe they're trying to learn from the master.
You know,
were you renowned for your poo-poos?
This didn't scar me. It really just made me super confident in my pooping skills. Yeah. I felt like I had a fan base. I was just popular.
You should have just started passing signed toilet paper under it. You know what this makes me wish? I wish I was in this situation and that I had one of those umbrellas with a hook at the end so I could just yank their ankle and pull them up. Yeah.
Just start grabbing them under. Oh, man.
This didn't affect you negatively at all?
It was really weird. I didn't think too much about it outside. I was like, this is just like some weird kids doing weird kid stuff. You know.
Did you never think to tell somebody?
Are we the first people you told?
I think so, maybe. I mean, I can't remember if I told my family at all, but I haven't talked about it since. I've just suppressed it all.
I can't believe out of 16 people of that population, they were poking their like.
No, it wasn't people in my grade. It was younger grades.
But I'm assuming every grade has around 16 people in it. So out of 64 people, which is still half of our grade size, and we had a small grade size.
Yeah, when our grades probably had 130. 20 to 140, depending on how big they were per person. Mm-hmm. And I could tell you you lined them up, I could tell you everybody's name in my class, probably half of JJ's class and half of the class younger than me too. I could name a lot of fucking people.
Do you think?
I would imagine you could name that entire school.
Yeah.
I could name my class, a little bit of the one above, but none of the younger kids.
Was there not a lot of intermingling?
Not really. It was kind of, everyone was segregated into like their own grades, really. Because there's such a difference between...
That's an interesting...
segregation of grades.
Dive into that one.
In Chicago, that was going in Chicago. What year? 2013 in high school?
It's rampant in Chicago.
A pretty stuck in the past policy.
Yeah.
What's the name of that high school?
Clicking his pen.
Chicago City Day School.
Shout out
Chicago City Day School segregates their students.
Jake, can you take a time mark right now and just label it Cheek Investigates Segregation?
That's yeah, I got you.
I'm just kidding. I don't need that information, but that's weird. I don't know how else to put that. So you said, wait, give me one more time. This started at what grade?
Oof. I guess like 4th or something.
Oh, wow.
And it continued until I graduated.
That's young.
What were the middle school grades for you? Was it 6th through 8th?
I don't know technically what they are.
Was there no separate? Was it all in one building and you just kind of moved up?
Yeah. It went from JK to 8th grade. My whole school. There was
what's JK?
Like junior kindergarten, senior kindergarten, first
like
grade,
pre-K, Jay.
Yeah,
like pre-K.
JK Rowling.
That was such a good one, bro. That's such. Had me there, bro.
All right, I will move on from that. So it started in 4th grade. What classes were you taking in 4th grade?
I guess.
What's a 4th grade class?
Science,
reading comprehension, writing stories. I think a little bit logic was introduced then.
Did you go to like a Montessori school?
Huh?
Did you go to a Montessori
class?
school?
No.
Or like an alternative education school? No. Have you heard of like
Go
ahead, G.
Who did you have 4th grade, Jay?
Oops.
Do you remember?
3rd grade I had Mrs. Taylor. 4th grade I had Mrs. Patterson.
I was Mrs. Bohr.
Mrs. Bohr.
4th grade.
She was a good one, wasn't she?
Yeah, Cal's mom.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cal's getting
You love
married.
Cal. Yeah, Cal's engaged.
Yeah. I love Cal.
Anywho.
Yeah. Cal,
I feel like
on the
you
other
had,
hand, did not
like-
watch me poop.
Eli's over here talking about like he had a logic class introduced in 4th grade, and I just remember Mrs. Bohr taking us down to Riddler's and giving us $1 each or something like that.
Wow.
Is my most memorable
I
memory.
do remember that.
from
We went
from
downtown. We went to
4th
like
grade.
Doug's Fish Fry. Went to
Yeah.
Riddler's. Yeah.
You're getting logic classes? That sounds like a weird curriculum for a fucking 4th grader.
Dude, when my best friend started crying when we got that assignment because he couldn't know how to do it. It was like balancing scales, and like one had 2 triangles worth something weight, and one had like a square and a triangle worth different. He just started like crying. I was like,
It's just your classes were split up differently than ours. We had like general classes where we probably learned a lot of the same things that you did, but you had logic.
I mean, logic wasn't its own class. I just remember that being an assignment one time.
Oh, I was interpreting that as
Oh,
that
I
like
thought that was a
you went to a
class.
classroom where you had a logic
Called
professor.
logic. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be intense.
Yeah. So it was
Like,
just a
we
section.
had
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so.
the same teacher in 4th grade taught us math, science, history.
Yeah.
You would leave.
Oh,
you would leave for PE. You would leave for recess and lunch,
Music.
and then you go back to that same music, and you go back to the same classroom.
Music,
where she would
art.
teach you everything.
We didn't even have a separate science until 5th grade, right?
Art would move.
Yeah. Art was Barry. Oh no, science we did have that lady with the bunnies. Science was Lady with the Bunnies. Art was Barry. Music was Forte or Squires, depending on what grade you were in.
Squire. I was Squire gang.
Yeah.
Would be a squire.
I was. I just want everyone to know. I was Johnny Appleseed in the 5th grade production of Johnny Appleseed.
Pete's favorite movie.
Pete's favorite. He's seen it 1,000 times. He knows it by heart. He doesn't even need to look at it.
So Eli, how do you think that being watched while you poop has affected your adult life?
I told you it gave me extreme confidence. I thought I was a wicked good pooper.
Is
And
that
I had a
honest?
big fan base.
Did you honestly interpret that as like I must be good at pooping?
No, I was just like, damn, there are some weird kids out there who do
Yeah.
not know how to interact with it, like in a society. I was like wondering, like, what did their parents do? How'd they get this? I think they were just super curious, and it was there, and there was no like authority to reinforce, like, hey, don't watch people poop.
Yeah, because no one's finding out.
Yeah, and I guess everyone's too embarrassed to be like, hey, teacher, someone was watching me poop. But it's so creepy seeing like an eyeball just poking through the stole.
The part that gives me
minute.
The part that gives me the shiver me timbers is when you would like say, "Hey, don't do that," or something like that,
yeah.
and they wouldn't
like,
even
nothing
flinch.
happens.
That's creepy.
And then as soon as you flush, like they scurry out. Like I'm not gonna catch them. Dude's wearing fucking Merrells and like cargo shorts.
Do you ever think about just like not wiping and
Don't
sprinting out to
flush.
catch them?
Yeah, see who it is.
Just hurling my poop. Dance, monkey, dance.
Whoever's covered in poop when you go back to class, that's who it was.
Just spike some scat at their feet.
That would have been an interesting. So you never were really you weren't like too keen on catching them, obviously, because if you were really, really wanting to catch them, I feel like you could have taken some drastic measures.
I just didn't really, to be honest, I don't think I really cared at all. I was like, this is weird. Not much more than that. I don't like that you're doing this, but I wasn't like, this is unacceptable or I need to confront you or something like that.
I have to say that I don't disagree with the fact that you didn't tell your professors. I can't see myself telling my professors that either. I think it'd be too weird to comprehend. It
didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
I would just like see the kid later in like a school assembly and be like, weirdo, why do you watch me poop? I just like think about it for a while.
Do you think they reflect on those moments too?
Oh, I don't know. One of the things was I want to hear your guys' takes. What you think it's all about, how you get to that point, what you get from that experience. Maybe it's super empowering watching someone poop.
Well, I think one thing that young pooping Eli, one perspective that YPE, young pooping Eli, could lend to everyone, even adults, is like a lot of people would have something weird like that happen to them and be like, what's wrong with me? What's happening with me? But the proper perspective to have is people are weird. I know a lot of people who deal with like self-confidence issues that like when this is really stretching it, to be honest, but there's a lot of people who deal with self-confidence issues and they see people who like ignore them or discount what they're saying. And 99% of the time, those people have issues with themselves, and the right perspective to take is to say they're weird. Like everyone's weird. Everyone has that weird tick, that thing that is coming from a different source of than trying to be mean to you type of thing too. So YPE really dawns some light on us.
Young pooping E.
Can we make a wanted poster of one of the kids?
It's gotta be like a hazel eyes, thick eyebrows, and it's just like a shot of the eye right there. Some stalled doors on the face.
Wanted young peeping kids behind bars.
You go to like a DIA, the local airport, and see like wanted posters of Peepin' Tom posted throughout the place. Oh, man.
Dude, I feel like that kid who was the Peeping Tom as a youngin', like if he never got confronted about that bad behavior, like I'd be worried that he
is still persistent,
continued it and developed it into, you know, like goes through puberty, wonders what's going on in the girls' locker room, like becomes a fucking weirdo, you know? And then I wonder, like, you talked about, JJ said something along the lines of, like, I probably wouldn't tell anyone, like, you'd feel embarrassed and ashamed. And I feel like that's the same reasoning a lot of kids who have been abused, maybe like sexually or something, have that same sort of reasoning. And then I'm like, you probably should have told someone. Like, this kid probably shouldn't have just been watching you poop, dude. Like, who knows what he's doing later in life?
For real.
Yeah, I mean, you probably should have told someone, but I'm not saying I would have done any differently. I
know, but I'm just, that was my train of thought the whole time you guys were just going back and forth.
We should go back to that school and tell your 4th grade teacher that someone was watching you poop.
Can we get a list of the kids who went to the school? I want to do some investigations.
Can we wear like trench coats and have big spy glasses?
I'm trying to think back. I'm wondering if I ever talked to my friends like, hey, do people ever watch you poop at this school? I don't think I did, though. Like, I was not the only victim, though. It had to have happened to other people.
Well, we don't know that.
It wasn't like people were waiting for me to go in the bathroom. It happened so often that it was guaranteed to happen to other kids.
Do we know that, though?
I'm talking several kids were peeping.
At a time.
Did you confirm with your best friend?
Only one at a time.
Only one at a time, but like throughout 4th grade to senior year, there was a steady rotation of peeping eyes that you noticed.
There was a collection of kids that enjoyed watching people poop.
You had an entourage.
Entourage.
Did you ever consider rearranging your poop schedule to not pooping at school?
Dude, I'd have to. But I would go and I'd just like cross my fingers.
I couldn't get through a school day without pooping. I pooped a lot at school.
The confessions come out.
I bet you I pooped, like, I could count how many times I pooped on my hands.
I think like
at school.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I was this big.
Dude, I think I have a very active digestive system. I poop like 6 to 8 times a day right now.
Whew. Wow. I poop once every other day.
That's a lot of pun.
That's a lot of pun.
You poop once every other day?
Maybe once a day at most. But
whoa, we got opposite ends of the spectrum. Both of those sound ridiculously unhealthy.
How many times a day do you poop?
Lately, I'd rather not say. It's been bad.
It's been too
I feel like
times.
I should see a doctor because I've been having diarrhea for like 2 months
Hannah's been telling me to see a doctor for the past month.
Dude, something's in the air. I don't know what it is.
Can we, Cheek, when you move out
it's
here,
COVID.
Can we start counseling on these things, but all together? So, like, we all go into a doctor's appointment together. We're
all going to share Eli's insurance and use the same
poop insurance
doctor's appointment.
Yeah. We've got like those, what are they called? Chaise longue, those like chairs that you lay out, therapist chairs. Mm-hmm. We've all each got our own lined up next to each other.
Chaise longue.
So listen, while we're on the topic of
Full
pooping, actually, never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
No more poop talk?
No, I was going to say, I wanted to talk about, I don't have a bidet here.
I just used
we
one
do use
during the
we
break.
use the wet wipes. We use wet wipes.
Oh. Does that not clog your toilet?
No, they're like dissolvable. They're meant for like babies and stuff. You're supposed to throw them down the toilet.
You use wet wipes. I mean, this isn't judgmental. It sounds fantastic. But you buy baby wipes and then Hannah wipes your butt.
Sugar mama wipes your butt.
I wipe my own butt.
And
They're
hers.
Cottonelle, like baby wipes.
So you don't have a roll of toilet paper on the wall. You have...
No, we have the toilet paper.
Do you use both?
Yeah, so the wipes do like 90% of the job, and then do a little pat dry.
Right.
Cleanup crew.
Did you ever use our bidet when you were in town, Cheek?
Yeah, I loved it. I want a bidet.
Oh, it's
kind of the same idea. It's like if you got poop on your hand, you wouldn't just wipe it off with a towel and be done with it. You would at least use like water and soap. Like the baby wipes have like disinfectant and like soap on them, and
I see what
make
you're
things
saying.
much cleaner. And then you just make it dry, and then you're good to go.
At first, I was saying you used to see poop on your hand and then just wash it up with a towel and then leave.
No, if a bird pooped on your hand,
Old shit towel. Right by the sink.
Yeah. Wipe it up when you shoot. I see what you're saying. You're saying, in this case, your hand is your anus.
If you're wiping a baby's ass and you found poop on your hand, you wouldn't just,
If I was wiping a baby's
I don't know, maybe you're babysitting, trying to make a couple extra dollars.
What you're saying is
way
not
too far
ridiculous.
into
My
this.
imagination is just going past what needs to be had. Yeah. All right. So, Cheek, write down at 150, Hannah wipes my ass.
Yeah, that one.
You got it down? Yeah.
Hannah just comes down the stairs, overhears that conversation.
Our girlfriend, I think, is what Cheek would prefer.
Cheek, you talking your candles right now?
He's pretending he's talking to Hannah. Chalking. Oh boy. Reset.
I feel like these look like the floating candles from
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, which I also watched this weekend.
The great. Which one did you watch?
Thick candle.
One of the early ones. We just upgraded our cable package. We got 200 plus channels now.
So E, I want to know more about these poop bandits. Did they? Yeah, you maybe have told your parents. Probably not, though. You maybe have not told anyone.
I feel like your parents would have done something about that, you know? Like
my parents
the
would have.
teachers.
We would have just laughed about it. I probably have told them.
You don't think your mom would have done something about it?
No,
As a child, somebody's spying on her child?
She probably would have justified them being like, the kids are curious or something like that.
I could see that too.
Like,
My dad
100%.
would say something like that. He'd just be like, you're probably making it up, or it's not as big a deal. They thought the stall was empty or something. My mom would like report them to the school and be like, this kid threatened my kid's life, and then that kid would be kicked out of school forever or something.
Tried to shame my kid by watching him poop.
You think my kid poops like crap? Yeah, that's an educated sentence, but all right. So now that we know that only the boys are listening, how many IPAs do you drink in a summer? I don't even know where else to go from this. I feel like there's so many angles. Like, is there anything else you want to talk about in this regard?
No, I mean, I've said it all. I was most interested in your interpretation. I was really hoping that you guys had this similar predicament.
You're banking on us also having pooping peepers.
Yeah.
I think that's just a weird Illinois thing.
Dude, I'm sure there are other people we know who have experienced that, but...
Well, you remember what happened to
AJ? Yeah, well, that was just a skeevy old perv in Walmart.
We were at Chiefs. We drove to Kansas City for a Bills game, and we were like at a Walmart parking lot, which is where they tailgate before they Uber to the stadium. So we were like tailgating there, and we could keep our car there longer. One of our friends went into the bathroom at the Walmart,
Which couldn't lock.
The stall door wouldn't lock. So he was just kind of like hoping that no one would come in, and he hears someone come in, and he's like, all right, please need the urinal, please don't need the stall. And the guy kind of like pushes the door open and stands there for a second and is like, are you done using the stall? And he's just like, if you fucking have to ask, then I'm not done using the stall. Like I'm
sitting here.
I'm sitting here in the stall. What more do you need from me? Like and he's like, so, I mean, that's what was going on in his head. And outside he's like, no, man. And he's like, all right, let me know when you're done. And he just keeps standing there.
Staring at him.
And he's just like, get the fuck out, man. Get out of here. And he like slams the door on him or something. And I don't know.
I don't remember what happened after that, but he came out and he was shook.
Mm-hmm. He was very shook. Rightfully so.
AJ seems like the kind of guy who gets pretty easily shook.
Also well said, but...
Valid, but... also would have done me a number 2.
Yeah. I would have been shook.
Number 2.
No! We have to end the podcast right there.
Cut.
That's all, folks.
Oh, man. I mean, that's something that easily could have led to childhood scarring, I think, E. Those peeping toms.
I think it could have taken you one of two directions. I can poop under any environment. Ends up talking to a therapist. I have a lot of trouble pooping. And I think that you went the better of the two routes there.
Well, I think the other route would have just been I couldn't poop in school anymore. Like, I would just hold them in for the whole day.
Yeah, but maybe that anxiety
have like a weird public
it.
restaurant thing. A restaurant
Yeah.
thing.
And you would be an at-home pooper. You wouldn't be able to poop anywhere.
Well, I know people that can't poop outside of home because of like cleanliness, but I haven't heard of anyone who can't poop because of
fear of
social
peeps.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I was on a hike a few weeks ago, and it was after a night of heavy drinking, and didn't have time before the hike to
excrete.
Let the system out, and twice during the hike, I had to scurry off the trail to dig a hole.
Did you bring TP?
My sister-in-law was carrying a lot of napkins with her.
Oh.
That's clutch.
Why?
Was she carrying napkins?
Why did she have so much? Was she pooping off?
She had anything that you may have needed in her backpack. Hand sanitizer, Chewy bar, extra mask. She's one of those prepared persons, you know?
This is D-Town?
Like Yeah. Well, it's the only sister-in-law I have.
Do you...
That was, you just channeled Jim Gray. You channeled your dad right there.
What would you have done if those little bits of scrappy pee weren't there?
Of the...
Scrappy towels.
Napkins?
Yeah.
Found leaves.
Fair enough. Were there leaves around?
There was no situation in which I wasn't pooping.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What?
Take a sock off.
Like from 0 to 100, and 100 being like, there's an emergency, I have to poop. I was pooping. We were at 100. I was getting the cold sweats. I wasn't finishing the hike if I couldn't poop.
Oh man.
It was poop now or never.
It was go off the trail and take down your pants and poop, or sit here a little bit longer and poop your pants.
Can you say poop for me?
Poop.
I really like how you say poop. Poop.
Nice and clean.
Can you say poop in 4 different ways?
Poop? Poop. Poop. Poop.
Those were terrific.
That was amazing. They went from ridiculous to more natural, but in the most weird ways. I just appreciated that big time.
I really appreciated that too.
You know, something that we haven't implemented yet that we talked about was the fan questions section.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish we had some fan questions right now.
Yeah, we need fans for that.
True. We should get all of our fans to pose the same question.
Yeah.
Who does the best Joker impersonation?
Yeah. We had one.
I'm gonna pull up the Bozo Reddit page right now and see what's popping off.
I guarantee there are 0 users. Although Shoe Nice did say that he promoted it, so we'll see. Oh man. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
I feel like I don't remember or think about it enough.
Are you sure that wasn't just a fucked up dream?
No, that was definitely reality for me.
I feel like you not telling us that for a long period of time led to constipation, and you orally pooped on us with that admission.
I don't even know what to think about that. Imagine orally pooping is not a great visual.
It's not. A lot of toothbrushing.
a lot of hand wiping.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever peeped on someone pooping?
No, nothing more than is someone in the stall.
Right. I always get that happens though sometimes, you know, where you're like walking by the stall and you like
the worst is when you make eye contact.
Because they see the movement outside, so they're looking up. And you look and you just have right away, you just boom. It's like an eclipse and your eyes just kind of like pass each other and you're like, fuck. Sometimes
you make eye contact with somebody in the stall while they're pooping. Whoever the fuck manufactured those stalls is a jackass.
Oh, for real.
That crack could have been like
avoided. Yeah.
Did it need to be that big?
It doesn't need to have any size at all. It could be seamless. They were just fucking lazy and did the first thing that came to their minds.
Also, back to your topic earlier about, the urge to do the right thing versus the wrong thing. I never even had the urge after being victimized to watch someone else poop.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like...
You were never
now I
like,
wanna
hey,
try
what's this
it.
all about? Like, let me
Not
see
at
if
all.
I can get my rocks off here.
That's a possible spin-off, though, you know? You could see how someone would have that happen to them.
100%.
And they'd be like,
That was my
Abusers
theory, is that
commonly
it happened
the
to so many
abused
people.
become the abuser, JJ.
Yeah, exactly.
so do you think you ended the chain? Like there was a link of people like Rob watched Steve watched Joe watched Pete, and all of them watched you, but because you never watched anyone else, it ended right there.
Broke the cycle, bro. The most creative guy in the world figured it out.
You saved our lives.
I saved society.
Was there
by
somebody-
not watching people poop?
Was there somebody at that school who you knew had an extensive collection of shoes so that they could possibly have a little bit of
Anonymity?
deniability there?
Yeah.
Anonymity, if you will, JJ.
Absolutely not.
I just like, I have a hard time believing it was a gang of people. I feel like it was a repeat offender. Some guy or gal, let's not discriminate, kept going back for more peeps.
Well, we didn't have
I feel like that's a sick addiction.
combined
It's
sex.
not like, hey, how many poops have you checked in on today? Like you and your buddies palling around.
Yeah.
Like that's not something I'd want to admit to my friends, you know?
Yeah, you
Like
don't get like
thinking
a
logically
teardrop
here,
for watching
hey,
someone poop.
like JJ, me and JJ go to lunch and it's, hey, how many did you see him pooping
how many you
this
mark up
morning?
today?
Yeah, we're like trading cookies based on how many
Like
poops we
what
saw.
the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, you should have
Oh, you
seen
don't
the
also
peeper
watch
I
people
saw
poop?
today. That guy had a nice tuchus.
2 turtle doves. And a chongus in a poop factory.
I think you got a repeat offender. And I don't trust that guy.
Cheat, can you narrate your thought process in a noir film style narration?
I've never seen a noir film.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I do. I just don't have a lot of exposure to it.
I didn't know who I could trust anymore. The trail had run all but thin. My loved ones no longer by my side. The rain was pouring down. All I could see was poop.
I think you just did it perfectly.
Yeah, wow, you
I don't think I
delivered.
could top that. Yeah, you. Oh boy.
Can you please take a pull quote and just make it, the rain was pouring down. All I could see was poop.
Yes. Where are we at right now?
204.
Oh god, this is too long. I love it.
Well, we also recorded a 15-minute
I know.
break,
I
so
know,
we're good.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to.
I have right here 204 poo quotes. I also was not keeping track of our tangents at all, but
That's right. Wait, it's a work in progress.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
that's a wop? Oh no, that's a whip.
Work in progress. Yeah. I mean, that's all I
Do you
want to
wanna
cover.
Do you want to hear my poop story or should that be for another episode?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, plug
I just
it in
thought,
right
I thought
now.
there was no more. We were waiting for this the whole time, Cheek.
No, we weren't. We were waiting for Eli's poop story.
Well,
I said if
he's
you
been
want at
asking.
the end, you could hear mine.
Hit us with your poop.
All right.
Throw your poop at us.
Wipe those hands off on us.
The year is. I'm not good at math. 2009?
So wait, you know the story based on how many years ago it was? Just so everyone knows, your podcast is still playing. Cheek is just adding.
2000 and
Cheeky's just doing math.
2008. I was in 8th grade. In our high school, we got to go on 8th grade trip. It was like a long weekend.
Hip got his
Jay,
first
where'd
kiss.
you go on your? Where did you guys go on your 8th grade trip?
Baltimore, where Hip got his first kiss.
Yeah, we went to Baltimore too.
Did
So,
Hip get his
the
first
highlights
kiss on
of
your trip?
Baltimore trip were, for me, an awful Orioles game that no one wanted to watch. It must have been 100 degrees, and we were in the sun section.
Oh, you guys are lucky.
Everyone during the whole game was just out in a back alleyway. We went on a dinner dance cruise, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was sick.
Dinner dance cruise.
Yeah, that was sick.
I like the sound of that.
I took a picture of lightning in the distance on my NV2 at the time. I think it was.
About this. You were so proud of this.
And Gunnar Beck Anderson took credit for my photo on my phone and told everyone that he had my phone and took it, but he didn't. I took it. I took that fucking photo.
You hear that?
Man, you're
listening, Gunnar. You know what you did.
Gunnar, you son of a bitch, we're coming for you.
We're going to break your kneecaps, bitch.
Gunner's a homie. We like Gunnar.
We're coming to bring you gifts and a picture of lightning.
We saw a lot of monuments. You know, we were in the DC area, obviously. And in the middle of, I think, the Monument Day, we went to there was an ESPN zone down there.
Oh, that was so sick.
It was so much fun. The ESPN zone was so cool.
Do you remember the turret where like they used the whole area for like the targets that you could shoot at? It was like a turret up in the middle of it. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
It was like
I spent probably all my money on Arctic Rush or whatever, that snowmobile arcade game where they blow wind in your face and you're on like a makeshift snowmobile. I spent all my money on that game.
That place was sick.
Stuffed my face with a bunch of food. I'm playing a lot of games, and I get one of those like out of nowhere, like, like you got to clench or you know something's coming.
Almost a shark.
Like it would have been more than a shark if I had let it out.
It was like a slip and slide, like a bobsled team coming straight for you.
It's like a shoot and loop.
And so I knew where the bathrooms were. And I just go sprinting for the bathrooms. And I pop into a bathroom and I get into a stall and I do my thing, you know. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there. I hear the door open.
Oh, no.
And I hear 3 girls walk in. And, you know, girls don't go to the bathroom necessarily to use the bathroom. They're just like probably in the mirror talking. I know who the girls were. I remember to this day who the girls were.
I'm feeling like secondhand like nervousness from this.
Dude, I was so anxious. It was awful. And I hear them say, "Wait, is somebody in here?" And so they're doing the thing where they look under the stall. They look to see if there's people in the stalls.
No.
Yeah.
No, but it's okay. They're just looking at feet. So I pull my feet up.
No.
They see a backpack on the ground and they don't do any further investigation. They talk a little bit more and then they leave. I finish what I'm doing and I bolt out of there. It was just the most nervous I'd ever been. These were like the gossipy girls too from my grade who definitely like
would have spilled the beans.
I don't know if they knew it was me. I think that they didn't. I think if they did know it was me, they would have been like, oh, like, you know, Sean was fucking pooping in the girls' room. What happened there?
You might as well have jumped off that dinner dance cruise.
I was expecting you just unleash those demons right as they started looking.
Dude, that was like the most anxious and nervous and scared I've ever been in my entire life.
I would love footage of your face in that moment.
It turned out okay.
I'm glad. I'm glad it did.
I don't think anybody saw me. I sprinted out of the room. I immediately went to you know how there are a lot of times there are drinking fountains right outside of bathrooms?
Yeah.
I like got out of there and I like pretended like I was drinking. Oh, did you see me drinking that water there? Like that's all I was doing.
I was just getting water.
Camera footage.
I definitely wasn't going from the girls' bathroom.
Did he just come out of the girls' bathroom?
No, I'm drinking water.
No, I'm drinking water.
I'm drinking water, everybody, just so you know.
Oh, my hands are wet. I spilled water on my hands.
Splashing into the fire. Have you ever gone to the bathroom in a woman's bathroom, E?
Not on accident. Only as a kid with my mom.
Like an excusable age?
Yeah. Like, I need someone to wipe my butt. I can't do it myself.
There's a bar here in Burlington. I've been at in the it's a great dive. You know, it's a classic dive. Give a little shout out here, Aches Place on Church Street in Burlington. We love Aches Place. The men's bathroom in there is fucking disgusting. It is the worst bathroom you've ever seen. Mid-summertime, just like you go into pee, a million fruit flies come up from the toilets.
Ew.
Like, it's awful.
Foul.
They don't have toilet paper in there. You could never poop in there.
So you bring your baby wipes?
No, so I've pooped in the women's bathroom before. Like, people do it. Like, you know, if you gotta
People
poop.
do it. It justifies my
And then,
actions.
like, if there's no line, it's like, I'm just going to go to the women's bathroom because it's actually an okay bathroom. And then you come out and then there's some girl just yelling at you like, why the fuck are you using that bathroom? I'm like, have you stepped into the men's bathroom? Have you looked and seen what's in there? Like, you'll understand why I'm in the women's bathroom. Sorry.
I love the visual juxtaposition of 8th grade.
It's a
chic.
one person. For the record, the Aches bathroom is a one person. Lock the door. No one else.
No one else can come in or walk by the stalls.
Exactly.
It's a transition between.
Yeah, the visual juxtaposition of Cheek with both his feet up and his poopy butt out on the stalls, and then confident ass Cheek just walking in, big arm, like, I'm gonna use this bathroom, and it's the women's bathroom.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't think about that. You mentioned it.
Fuck you, this is my bathroom now.
And then I come out, some 5'5" ginger-headed girl is yelling at me. You can't use our bathroom.
The only time I've gone into a girl's bathroom in my adult ages twice. One time I used it, and I don't know what to compare using a woman's bathroom to other than kind of like what Cheek said, but like you get these like clues until it clicks that you're in the woman's bathroom, because you're not going there on purpose unless you're Cheek at this dive bar. But you're not going in there on purpose. Like, you go in because you have a need and you think you went in the right bathroom for your gender identity.
You don't see the urinals.
Yeah.
You take a stall.
Yeah, exactly. Like what happened to me is I went into the stall, and all of a sudden I hear like a kid come into the bathroom with his mom. And I was like, okay, weird that the mom came into the guy's bathroom, but she's with the boy kids. So that makes sense. And then I'm thinking like, I don't know if this boy's bathroom had stalls. And then you hear like another woman come in and you're like, maybe that's the same woman with the kid. And then all of a sudden you start realizing that you walked into the girl's bathroom.
And then you start trying to like time your escape when no one's there.
And there's no timing.
Dude, that's the riskiest move.
Yeah, it's like, because I was at the Denver Natural History Museum, and shit was packed. There's always people coming in and out of the girls' bathroom. So I had to wait till one girl got
Shit
in.
was packed.
Was this recent?
3 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere around there. But you have to wait till someone went into the stall next to you, and then no one else is out in the area, and you have to sprint out and accept that there's probably going to be someone about to come into the bathroom that is supposed to be there. And I remember coming out, my cousin was waiting for me at the table, just like crying, laughing, and he had known the whole time. He didn't think to text me or anything while I was sitting there pooping in there. It's better that, well, I was going to say it's better that you're pooping, but you don't have a choice. You have to be in a stall at a woman's bathroom. The other time was that I just kind of busted into a bathroom because someone was like, don't use the first one, use the second one. And so I took that as there was like two non-conforming bathrooms. But really it was an instruction on which gender bathroom you should go to. So there was like, don't use the first one, use the second one, to the person that went before me, who happened to be my roommate's girlfriend. And so I was like, okay, that bathroom must be dirty, so I'm going to go use the second one. And it never dawned on me that there would be like, that actually meant that was the girls' bathroom. And
that's confusing direction. Yeah. That's just bad direction.
Well, admittedly on the doors it said girls and guys, but I just heard that and I was like, all right, I'm going to use the second one. I never even thought, it never dawned on me that like, also she was in there, so why would we be in the same bathroom? And I bust in, I'm like, oh, you're in here? And I was like, oh, fuck. And I just like walked back out, and she was she was just like washing her hands at the time, but it's just like,
If I were in that situation, because I was asking if it was recent, because if you had that long hair, I would have made the escape, like just brush my hair on my face and like scurry out of there.
Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, mask it.
Too much hat hair.
Just look so disheveled. Honestly, it might work.
I think I could get away with it.
I think you could get away with it.
At least to a point where, like, it's a question. You
Yeah,
know?
it's
Like,
like-
you wouldn't be like, that's a guy that just came out of
Yeah,
it.
it's like,
you would
that
say,
was a man.
what was that?
I wonder how often that happens to women. Like
Where they just see a man screwing
a
in the
man in there.
Probably more often than we like to admit, and more
Yeah.
often than it's someone like
Oh,
your
I'm sure
accusers.
there's like a portion of men that are like skeevily doing it versus accidental.
accidentally going in with air quotes versus the actually accidentally going in like me.
Oh my God. I stumbled into the woman's bathroom. I hope I don't see
Saying
anything.
it as you're walking in. Oh, I'm walking into the woman's
who
bathroom.
is that? Who is that?
Continue walking.
Oh, did I just touch boob? There are definitely people like that out there. There's Weaveling skeevers.
I have seen women in the men's bathroom before, and when I see that, I'm just like, that's weird. But like, yeah, move on.
Yeah. That doesn't bother me at all because there's a much smaller proportion probably of women that are skeeving around men than there are men skeeving around women. I don't know if that's disagreeable.
I bet there's some people that get pissed off seeing a woman in there.
Yeah, I could see Spanky getting pissed off at that. Wow,
No,
I can't go in their bathrooms. Why can they come in mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know, boys. I think we should wrap that up unless anyone else has any more poop stories.
I think we just did about an hour on poop.
We should read it. Sometimes I think we should just name the titles of the episodes, things like that.
Poop
An
talk.
hour on poop.
An hour of genius.
I don't know if anyone would click on that.
I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah, we'd have the wrong people clicking
Maybe
on that.
we
then.
get more clicks. We get all the poop fetish people.
Yeah, all your previous fans even find you. Oh, boy. Well, boys, it's glad to be picked back up. I can't wait to do Cheek. We're going to have to find an earlier time to do it next week for you. We'll be flexible for you since you were flexible for us tonight. I know it's, Jesus Christ, 2 a.m. there.
Is it?
Almost.
Yeah. Well, Zoms after this or what?
We got to go to our girlfriend. We're going to go visit our girlfriend. But
We
so
love
no.
the commitment. I mean, wow, that's you normally don't play with us, Cheek.
Yeah, I love playing with you.
There
Cheek,
you go, being sweet
You're hurting
again.
our souls, but
That inner light.
let's make sure we schedule the next one. Do you know your schedule yet, Cheek? Actually, let's end this. Let's say Arrivederci. Thanks for coming back.
See ya.
We appreciate
Thanks for tuning
y'all. Cheek, wave to the camera because we now have that. Should we create like a signature move for the end of the? All right, let's all say our favorite French quote to end this one.
Je pense.
Not.
Three,
At the same time, we're just gonna say it at the same time.
3, 2, 1.
Fromage.
Hamburger.
Click.
All right, guys and girls, thanks for listening to our poop talk. Bye bye.